Hello guys, welcome back. So for today I'm going to be making calabazitas, and that's basically just squash with some calabazitas. You can choose to put meat in it, you can choose not to. For this particular recipe I am going to, and I just bought a beef chuck steak boneless, super inexpensive for this pack here that's going to feed all of us. It's only $4.45. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it up into little small squares, and then I'm going to season it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it up, and then we'll season it together. Alright guys, real quick, it's out of the package and I just wanted to show you how big it is. I know in the package it probably seemed a little bit smaller, but this piece of meat is pretty big. So look at, like, compared to my hand, it's like 2 of my hands. So this will definitely feed at least a family of 4. It'll feed my family because it'll have the meat, it'll have the squash, it'll have the onion, it'll have the tomato, and it'll have the cheese. So and then you make a side of rice and you mix it all together, and it turns out to be a pretty filling meal. So all right, let's get to it. To seasoning. So I have some onion powder, and I'm just going to sprinkle everything in. So onion powder, and you guys already know me, I don't measure. Should have opened everything. Meat tenderizer, cumin, some oregano, garlic powder. I may be putting, like, I don't know, 2 teaspoons of each seasoning, and then I'm just going to mix it all. That way everything gets coated. And then the way that I tell that my meat is nicely seasoned is by smell. Since you can't really taste raw meat, well, it isn't suggested, I guess I should say, that you taste raw meat. I like to smell mine, and then that's how I know that my meat is nicely seasoned, nicely coated. So just going in. My hands are washed, guys, so just making sure I get it all. And it already smells really good. So, alright, so that's pretty good. So now I'm going to go in and put in some salsa Maggi. And that's basically like a soy sauce. Super popular in Mexican cuisine, beers, especially beers. So just sprinkle some in, gives it a lot of flavor. Some Worcestershire, however you pronounce it. I've never known how to properly pronounce it. Sauce in there, and then some lime. Squeeze it in. And like I've told you guys in a lot of my videos, if anybody watches me, I use a lot of the same seasonings in my meats, just because it's, I don't know, tastes good. The flavors are really good together, especially if I'm making Mexican dishes or anything like that. then I like to use the same seasonings. If we are making a carne asada, then we'll add in sometimes some orange juice. We'll put in some cilantro sometimes. We'll do fresh onion if we're doing like a chicken. What did we make the last time? If we're making a, can't think of the name. Anyways, like a chicken adobado, we'll do that kind of seasoning with pineapple juice or with orange juice. So we mix up our seasoning sometimes, but for the most part, I like to use the same powders. And then we'll add in some extra citrus and some extra, or some different types of wet ingredients. So there's our lime, there's our Maggi, there's our Worcestershire, whatever. In there, mixed. Smells really good. And then some vinegar. And the vinegar breaks down the meat and it helps the meat get really tender. So the lime and the vinegar mixture, just bring it all together. That way when you cook it, it's not tough to chew on. And that's another reason that you want to cut against the grain when you are cutting your meat, so that it doesn't get tough. So, and normally I would put beer in my meat in this pan here. I already have it heated. Just dump it all in. And we are going to cook it. Okay, so these are the veggies that I'm using. My onions, garlic, calabaza, tomato, and jalapeno. So I'm just going to give them a nice rough chop and then we'll start cooking them. Alright, so we have all of our veggies cut up. Our onion, our garlic, our jalapeno, all of our squash. Looks like a lot, but it breaks down because it has so much liquid in it. So it'll break down to almost nothing. And then our tomatoes. So let's get cooking, guys. With butter. And our pan is already hot. A little bit of oil. Oh. And then I have everything on this plate that needs to be cooked in here first. I have everything separated. So we have our onion. That needs to go in first. And then once our onion cooks down, I will add in our garlic and our jalapeno. So have our onion. I will add a little bit of salt just to help it sweat it out. And we will cook this until all of our onions are translucent. And then we'll add in our garlic, our jalapenos, and then the rest of our veggies. More. So, adding in my jalapenos. I opened up my window in the house because everybody starts to complain that they're choking. So, look at how pretty that looks. Alright, so we will let our jalapenos cook, and in the meantime, we are going to make masa for tortillas. So I went ahead and added the squash, and we're just going to start mixing it all together. And we're just going to wait until the squash breaks down. And right now, there isn't any liquid, but once the squash starts to break down, you will start to see all the liquid releasing from it. So we'll just cook this down and just let it go. Alright guys, we have our squash almost done. Look at how much liquid it has produced. That's without me putting anything in, any water, any milk. It's just the squash on its own. Crazy, huh? Alright. So we are nearing the end. I'm going to put in our tomato. You always want to wait for the tomato until the very last minute because the tomato breaks down super fast. So, put the tomato in, mix it up. Once that breaks down, we will go ahead and add the cheese. And then if I see fit, then I'll add in some milk. But we don't want this to cook for that much longer because then the squash will start to get soggy and nasty. But I will go ahead at this point and add in some salt. And some pepper. And the pepper just brings out the flavor in all of the veggies. Sorry guys, I have a grinder, so I have to takes a long time. Alright, that should be enough pepper. I'm gonna give it another mix, let the tomatoes cook for just another couple minutes. And then we will add in the cheese, the meat, maybe some milk, just so we can make sure that it's nice and so you guys can get an up close look. Look at how much liquid came out. Alright, our tomatoes are nice and cooked down, so now we are going to put in some cheese. I did Monterey Jack and medium cheddar. You can do whatever kind of cheese you want, doesn't really matter. And you're just going to mix until everything is melted and incorporated. And that is when you know if you need to add any milk. And then once all of this is melted, I will add in our meat. Alright, added all of our meat, so now we mix. And then we'll see the consistency. If it's not the creaminess that I want, I will add in my milk. And this already looks amazing. Let's turn down the heat. We have our comal ready. Kayla's gonna help me with the tortillas so we can hurry it up. So have it all mixed. I'm gonna add a little bit of milk. And I've already had my milk sitting for a little bit. It's not room temperature, but it's not refrigerator cold either. So that way it doesn't curdle. Just a little bit. A little bit at a time, guys. If you add too much, you can't take it back. So always, always, always add a little bit at a time. Mix it up. Alright guys, so we have 2 cups of corn flour, which is the harina de maíz. And then you can add either a tablespoon of salt, or I like to add about a tablespoon of consommé, which is the pollo. And then 1.5 cups of water, so you just want to add about half of it first, and then we will put our dough mixer on it, and I'll close it, and then we mix. So about halfway through, my camera won't focus, but about halfway through it'll be crumbly like that, and then you'll go ahead and add the rest of your water. And I did forget to mention that it is supposed to be warm water, guys. So you see it's starting to get doughy. And yeah, I'll show it to you when it's done. Alright, so our masa's done. It forms really quickly. This is the consistency that you want. It breaks apart really easy. You kind of can mold it like clay, but it doesn't hardly stick to your finger. So later when we're ready, we'll go ahead and mold it into little balls, and then we'll press it into my tortilla press and make corn tortillas for dinner. So that's it for tortillas, for corn tortillas. Super, super easy. Alright guys, we have our tortillas going. We only have a few left to press. Kayla is working on that right now. Alright guys, so we are done. Now we serve. So the calabaza, I'm gonna put it in a bowl so that it gets all the juices. Some rice, and you put it all together. Then you top it off with a fresh tortilla. And that's it, guys. There is your calabazas with rice and fresh corn tortillas. I hope you guys enjoy. Tomorrow I am making pozole, so hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye YouTube.